Hi guys, so I'm back again today, another 2 months after I did another video. I know I keep saying that I'm gonna get back into doing videos regularly, but as many as you know, sometimes life just gets in the way, and I'm in my third year at the moment, so it's really busy. I'm trying to do really well in my third year and also plan what I'm going to do at the end of the year, so like career-wise, which is really scary. So I just haven't really found the time to be able to do a video. But I'm going to do one now because I've actually injured my leg. I've torn a ligament in my leg and I'm supposed to be resting, so this is me resting. In my last video I said I was going to review a Terry Pratchett book, but because it's been so long since I actually read a Terry Pratchett book, like a couple of months now, I thought it probably wasn't worth doing one because I don't know how much I'd actually have to say about it. So instead I'm going to review what I just read, and that is Sirius by Olaf Stapledon. Probably the genuine pronunciation. So, Sirius. I found Sirius in Waterstones, was just browsing and picked it up, and I read the blurb and I thought it sounded pretty good. My boyfriend read it and said he liked it, so then he made me read it. So if you don't know anything about Sirius, it's basically about a dog. So a dog who has been genetically engineered to be really, really, really smart. So he's so smart that he's basically a human, but in a dog's body. But he also has dog instincts. So basically the whole book, nothing really happens. It's not a story about something happening. It's more about like a philosophical sort of approach. So how this dog Sirius kind of makes sense of his life as both a human because he's really smart, but also a dog because he still has his dog instincts. So yeah, that's basically the plot of the book. So my thoughts on this are, yeah, pretty good. It's really nicely written, which is always really nice. And yeah, it's good. The philosophy in it is interesting, but it's sort of not the philosophy that you might think. So in something like Frankenstein, when the book's very much about like whether you should play God and whether you should make something and whether it is your power as a human being to decide what gets created or not, this is very much kind of putting that on the back burner. There's not really much moral questioning of the creation of Sirius itself. It's more about his opinion on the human race. So he has sort of a divide between his canine instincts that make him sort of like wild and feral, and his human instincts, which he's learned because he's really smart. So his sort of emotions, his love for people, and the book's very much about him being torn between instincts and sort of his human being. And the debate is on whether, like, does he have a spirit? Does he have a soul? And if he does have a spirit and a soul, will he go to heaven? So there's all sorts of like that. That's the philosophy in the book. If you want something that's more like actually questioning life itself, then probably read Frankenstein. Although, I mean, for me, I really like moral stuff, but I mean, it kind of annoyed me that it didn't address it a little bit, but also you kind of can look past that in a way. The only thing that I didn't really like about this book was the fact that it kind of kept repeating itself for several chapters. So the kind of struggle that Sirius had, you would read it and be like, okay, I get it, there's a struggle. And then he'd sort of go on about the struggle for like 3 chapters, and I'd be like, okay, I'm kind of bored now, like, I get it, I get what you're trying to tell me, I get what your message is, I get the philosophy, so let's move on now and let's look at something else. But he kind of never really does that. He kind of gets stuck on this idea of, I have to jam my philosophy into this book, which gets a bit repetitive. But it's still worth a read. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, so that means I liked it. Read it. It's fun and it's good. So, what I'm reading at the moment, so I'm reading for my course, obviously, and that takes up a lot of my time, but in the evenings I'm trying to read a lot more now. At the moment I'm reading The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. There is some practical reason why I'm reading this. I'm going to be starting a placement soon in a care home where I will be reading to elderly patients, many of whom have dementia. I'm doing this with one of my friends, so we basically pick a poem, we go into the care home and then we read it to them. And then we get them to try and talk about it, which can sometimes be difficult with people with dementia. So this book, there's a whole section on what's called losses, so people with sort of brain deficits where they either lose something or, yeah, it's basically just where they lose something, some sort of function in their brain or memory. Yeah, so that's the first section of the book, and then the second section is about, let me check, excesses. I don't really know what that section's about. I assume it's when people sort of have too much of something. But yes, I am not quite at that moment yet. I am nearly halfway through. I've nearly finished the losses section. I'm really enjoying it. It's really interesting, sometimes really sad. Especially for those people who are never going to get better or aren't even aware that something's wrong with them. It's kind of a bit sad, and yeah, in terms of like going to do this placement with dementia, I think it's going to be quite emotionally straining for me, but it's good. I want to do it and I want to sort of give back to the community. So that's really all I have to say. I will hopefully be back soon, maybe probably around Christmas time. She says silently, because I don't know, I might be really busy. But until then, have a really great Christmas if I don't see you before, and have a really nice rest of your day. Bye!